Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tisha. If you're new, I'm a stay-at-home homeschooling mama, and I got some homeschool updates for you. You guys, can y'all believe it's been 5 years since I started homeschooling? I cannot believe it's been um 5 years. And I can tell you guys right now that I had some hits and I had some misses when it came down to homeschooling my children. And every year I try to do an updated version of things that I've enjoyed and things that I've hated so much um, homeschooling and things that I'm probably not going to do anymore. So this year I'm going to do a list of things that I've enjoyed. And if you're a homeschooling parent and you're out there looking for resources, or if you want to homeschool, this is the perfect time for you to get this information. I was a parent just like you on the internet, searching and looking for information about homeschooling and pretty much coming up short or getting too much of the same information and not enough of the information that I needed. I hope that today I can provide you with some information that you need and information that you're going to enjoy. So, listen, get those pens and pencils out and let's get ready to start down this homeschool journey. Now, I always do a disclosure. I did not immediately start homeschooling on purpose. It was really one of those things that came out of it just happened. And I planned to do it for like a year and send my children back the next year. And then after it became something that I was more comfortable with, I was like, hey, we can do this. So that's what we did. And one thing about it is the first year I went along because I thought homeschooling was at home. You were secluded. You weren't with friends or family or anything like that. And it was in the heart of COVID. So, of course, we were not going to do that with a lot of people. But when I learned differently, you do differently. When you learn something new, you do something new. I learned that there were co ops in my community. I did a quick Google search, which you can do a quick Google search to find the co ops in my community and the ones that were most effective to me. Now, I happened to be in the right room at the wrong time, and I got some information from one of my friends who told me that their child had participated in this particular co op and that she loved it and she would do it again. And so I was like, what's the name of it? She told me the name. I actually knew one person from it, reached out to that person, got the number of that person from somebody, reached out to that person. They gave me information. For the last 3 years, my children have been a part of that co op. Now, teacher, what was so exciting about this co op? First of all, if you guys have watched any of my blogs, you know that my children go to school 3 days a week and they are taught by ex teachers, teachers who have retired, or teachers who just came out the classroom because they wanted to homeschool their children as well. So some of these teachers we knew from their other school. A lot of the teachers we knew from the other school that had came over to this particular school. So not only did they come from that school, but they also brought the culture from that school over. So it was just kind of like going back to that school again. Trust me, it was like that. So I enroll my children. There is a tuition fee, just like any other fee. Surrounding a co-op. So if you're deciding to co-op, do not go it alone. I see a lot of people get started and they immediately go along by themselves, but you don't have to do that. You can join a co-op and they're not all created equally. Some co-ops specifically do things like fun things like arts and crafts. All the specials are in certain particular co-ops. Some are just geared to maybe math. Some are geared to a STEM program. So you can find the one that really suits you and the one that is most effective for your family. This one was effective for my family. They taught the 4 core courses that we needed. And basically, what it is like some teachers holding your hand as they guide you through the homeschooling program. So it's not strictly left upon you. The next thing that I would suggest is asking questions about the co op. It's a great time to ask, is this a parent led co op? Are these parents with no education, no degree, no background teaching my children? Do they have a lot of information in curriculums, or is this teacher based co-op, or is this music-based co-op? Because there's several out there and a lot for you to choose from. So it's time for you to ask the questions. Ask the big questions when considering co-op, and don't be afraid that they may think that you are a pushy parent, because your children need a pushy parent, trust me. Also, number 3, shop around the curriculums. Shop those curriculums. My children went to a Christian school, and as being in a Christian school, though I am Christian, I'm a pastor's daughter, I'm a youth leader in my church, there's a lot of Christian based curriculum that I just don't agree with. So, with that being said, shop that curriculum, whether it is Christian based or secular. Find out what would best fit for your family and your children, and go from there. And then don't just stick to one program. You may need math from this program, or English from this curriculum, or Spanish from this curriculum. Shop all around, and trust me, one thing that I want you guys to stay out of the mindset of is that homeschool is cheap. It is an investment in your children. You are going to come out on top of some thousands of dollars, so keep that in mind when you're considering homeschool. It is not a cheap alternative. Number 3, ChatGPT. ChatGPT has become one of my best friends, not for writing, not for arithmetic, but for lesson plans. If you're out there going it alone, and you need your lesson plans done, so I'm going to talk to you guys about the curriculum that we're using for my 8th and 9th grader this year. They needed some advancement in curriculum, and we wanted to do something outside of the norm. And the curriculum that they used at the co-op was maybe 2 or 3 grade levels above where they are now, and had a wonderful math teacher who went above and beyond for them in math. And not only was she giving them math out of their curriculum, but she also was going to the local libraries and getting math lesson plans from the local community colleges and some of the senior colleges around the area. So with that, I knew that they needed an advancement in math. So we're taking our math courses with study.com, but we're also taking it with Saxon Math. And for the Saxon Math, I opted out of getting an entire kit because I really felt like I didn't need that. We needed the test, we needed the answer sheet, and we needed the hardback book. So that's what I purchased. I think they were $120 a piece. So it's just like buying something for college. And then what I did was I plugged in the information that I needed, the book, into ChatGPT, and asked Chat to give me a month's worth of lesson plans. And she did, from chapter 1 to chapter 2. And I told her to skip in between if it repeats. There you go. Saves you a lot of time, a lot of worry. Just plug it into ChatGPT, honey. And you can also plan your schedules that way. If you are one of those people who isn't good with schedules, put it in ChatGPT. My 9th grader isn't that great with schedules, and starting this week, I'm going to program her a schedule to align with classes that she's taking. Now, though she's not a scheduler, she's very optimistic, and she's very much of a hard worker when it comes down to actually getting it done. Push comes to shove. But getting it done in the proper order, she is not as strategic as my 8th grader. She's not as strategic as me. She takes that more after her father. She kind of goes with the flow. So because of that, I'm going to plug in ChatGPT to give her a schedule, line her up real quick, and we're going to get to going. I mentioned study.com, and that is the curriculum that we're using this year, along with the Saxon Math. The reason why I chose it is because for your children, your homeschool children, if they are high school level, they can take dual credit classes where they could take college and high school right at the same time. And also, the classes that they're taking are accredited. So that was important to me because I want my children to graduate with a high school diploma and not a GED. So I needed for them to have some accreditations as they went along in school. But also, I'm going to read some of the things that ChatGPT does, not ChatGPT, but study.com does. They offer a grade book, transcripts, and classes are done at your own speed. So, parents, you can set the time limits that you want the semester to be over. You want them to go 2 months, 3 months, 6 months for a semester. You can set that at their speed and go with that. And at the end of the courses, they give you a 1 credit hour for the courses that you complete. It is on a transcript and you have a grade book. And another great thing about it is by the time your children are in 8th and 9th grade like mine, it's not me standing over them teaching them. They actually know the work and they're repeating the work. There are videos and films there. There are teachers on the films and in the videos. They can take notes. They can highlight things on the app. And the best part about it is I can keep up with them on their dashboard to let me know if they are on track or they're off track. And also, there is a built-in lesson plan. You don't have to worry about that. They say you need to do chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4 this week, or you can spread it out and you can do 1 chapter per week. It depends on how focused your children are. All right. Next, do your children have to get a GED if they are in high school? Absolutely not. There are classes or there are schools like Liberty, Celis. There's some more schools, study.com, that offer high school diplomas. So don't just think that if they're in high school, they got to get a GED. I was worried about that too, but that doesn't have to happen. Does school take all day? Now in high school, I would say school doesn't take all day. We are pretty much on an accelerated program with study.com. I'm trying to hurry up because the kids are getting louder and louder, and I know that I have to get this out quick. They're on an accelerated plan because we want to see what we can do and how much we can do it with. How much time we have to do it with. So it is taking us about 8 hours to do courses. We try to set aside an hour per class. The hour per class will get us to get everything that we need to do. Now, if you have an elementary student or younger, you may can get past with 4 or 5 hours a day, but I would say keep it consistent. If you do 3 days a week, do 3 solid days a week. Or if you're going to do 5 days a week, keep it consistent. And make them structured, because if you are trying to put them in school, and this is one thing that I learned when I went from co-op, from at home to co-op, they were in co-op for about 7 hours. And the first few months they were great, but after a while they just kind of got tired of going back and forth and just getting tired. So keep that schedule structured. All right. Next thing, specials can be done outside of the house. There are so many programs that I've learned. There's so many homeschoolers these days, and there's so many companies and places and businesses that are offering daytime specials where you could take music, ballet, you could take gymnastics, you could take a cooking class, all outside of your home during the day. So you don't have to worry about being in the after school, unless you want to do that. Now, that's a good option too, after school. But there are a lot of things that's during the day that is convenient for us when we want to get out during the day and have something to do with recreation. All right. Am I planning to homeschool all through high school? Absolutely not. My goal is to get my girls into high school and let them graduate the same way I did and their daddy did and their brothers did too. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have more questions, concerns, you want more information, if you want me to reach out to you personally to help you schedule your day or any other thing that you may need in homeschooling, please do not hesitate to leave me a comment down below. You can also visit my website at basicallytisha.org, and you can see the full version of this information that I just gave you today. And until next time, I will see you guys later.